Hey everyone, this is HomerStarFan13. So now that I've finished all my Switch collection videos, I'm going to go back and do all my other console collections as well. So we're going to start off with, I guess, the earliest gaming console I have, which is the N64, and work my way up to like the PS5 and that. So this will probably be the shortest of the collection videos because I don't really have a lot of N64 games. So I guess I'll explain a little bit because I've got more time today. The N64 is like, I did not grow up with an N64. This is a console I actually bought a few years ago because it's like a console I've always wanted. So these are all games that I've only bought like, I want to say like over the last few years. So I'm slowly building up a collection, and a lot of the games I did have, I did sell because I have them on other systems. Like for example, Mario 64 I sold because I've got the 3D All Stars. What else did I sell? Like Mario Kart 64 and Banjo-Kazooie, I sold them because of the N64 Online. So this is all the games I still have for the system, and I'm slowly building up a system. In fact, I can just show you this for a second. I just recently bought this book. Hold on, let's get the... No, I was the wrong way around. Yeah, you can just see that. Yeah, I recently bought this book, the N64 Encyclopedia, which is a really good book. And it's got loads of good N64 games on here, and I'm currently using this to kind of find out what N64 games to get. So this is like a good start of me sort of getting into like collecting the N64 now. So, alright, all that ramble out of the way, let's start off with what I usually start off with, which is the first party Nintendo games. So, start off with, we entered it last time with this one, so we'll start off this time with this, the original Super Smash Bros. I know people will say that there's no reason to go back to this one, but I honestly disagree. I feel like it's fun to go back to the first game to see how different things are, because like, compare the roster to this game to the modern game, and it's it's just so weird. Like, who would have thought? Do you think people who played this game when they were younger would know that like Sonic and Mega Man were going to be in it? Probably not. Oh, like it would have almost over 80 characters in it. Yeah, still a good game, and like that's obviously why I wanted to buy it, because I wanted the first Smash Bros. I've got all the Smash Bros. Games now. This was like the one I really needed, and it seemed like Nintendo weren't really re-releasing this a lot. In fact, they still haven't put it on N64 Online, which is very strange. But yeah, I think only play this if you want to go back to the early days. You want to see how Smash started. Like, don't expect this to be like the newer ones. Just go into it, and I would recommend it if you want to see how it all started. Right, next up we've got, I guess this is technically first party Nintendo, yeah, Diddy Kong Racing, was published by Rare. Yeah, nice little racing game. I've not played a lot of this one, but I think this is one of the earliest ones I really wanted, because, you know, Diddy Kong Racing, people always love Diddy Kong Racing, people always say this, like, people say this is better than Mario Kart 64, but I'm sure at some point I find it quite difficult to play, like, the controls are a lot weirder, like, obviously not modernish controls, it's kind of weird, classic controls, but I think I think it'll be really good when I actually sort of get into it and that. Yeah, so that's another thing, there won't be a lot of things to sort of talk about because I've not really played a lot of these games as much as others. But yeah, like, good thing about this one is that this is also, of course, has Banjo and Conker in it, you know, from the Banjo-Kazooie and Conker's Bad Fur Day, so that's quite fun. But this is like, and those games hadn't come out yet, so it's like an early sort of introduction to those characters. I mean, we might see this on N64 Online. I mean, they put Banjo-Kazooie on there, so it wouldn't surprise me if they put this one on N64 Online one day. I mean, I'd be happy to see it on here. I've also got the DS version of this, which I'll talk about that when I get to the DS video. And now we have the last Nintendo first party game. Yeah, I told you this was going to be short. And it's Pokemon Stadium. The very first Pokemon Stadium. Ignore that. I was thinking about, I did try and like tear it off, but I'm so worried it's going to like ruin the box art, so I've just left it on there. That's the issue with buying classic games from like shops, they always put these stickers on them. Yeah, I like Pokemon Stadium. It's just fun to like, obviously this is harder to play for me because I don't have the Game Boy games, but it still is fun to sort of use the rental Pokemon and sort of pick your own sort of Pokemon and go through like the missions and the tournaments and that. So yeah, it's just a fun little casual game. I'm kind of surprised they haven't done another Pokemon Stadium, because I think it'll be, I guess the problem is that because the whole appeal of this game was you get to see your Pokemon in 3D, but now all the Pokemon games are 3D, so there's not really any, and all the Pokemon games are on modern consoles, on the home console, so there's not really anything special about it anymore. But you know, it's not a bad game. I didn't say how much it cost. No, I didn't say. Oh yeah, I got the transfer back with it as well. So this also got put on Nintendo Switch Online. I'm probably going to keep this version still because maybe one day I will get the Game Boy games and I can actually do the like what it's made for. So yeah, like obviously Nintendo Switch Online is coming too, so when that comes out you'll get to play it. And it's also got Pokemon Stadium 2 as well, which is going to be good. Huh? Alright, so now we come to the already the last section, which is the licensed game section. Yeah, again, told you this wasn't going to take long. So let's start with the most obvious and well-known licensed game, and that is also getting a port to Nintendo Switch Online, GoldenEye 007. Yeah, what's this really say about this one? Everyone loves GoldenEye 007. This is considered one of the greatest N64 games, one of the best first-person shooters. Yeah, I played a bit of it. It is a decent game. Obviously, don't go into it expecting like Call of Duty and that, because it's nowhere near like the same as those games. But it is fun to go back to these games and sort of see how it all started. I never really like the idea of, you know, games have an age to it, because yeah, obviously games are obviously always going to get better, and games are obviously going to like older games are always going to be sort of weaker in some aspects. But I always feel that's the charm of older games, is that you get to see this is how these games started. Like this was an early first-person shooter, so it can be fun to compare this to Call of Duty and sort of show how things have changed. But yeah, similar to Pokemon Stadium, this is also getting put on Nintendo Switch Online. I think this is also getting put on Rare Replay as well, which is pretty cool. Although, similar to Pokemon Stadium, I probably am going to keep this copy just for the case of, with it being a licensed game, the license could run out and then we might not have it anymore. So I think it's best to just keep this copy just in case for whatever reason it gets taken off. Alright, now off we have probably one of the more weirder games in this collection, and probably the worst game in this collection, Rugrats Treasure Hunt. This game is terrible. So like, I loved Rugrats when I was younger, so one of the things I'm doing is I'm collecting all the Rugrats games. So I saw this game and I don't think it was very expensive, and I picked it up. It's a board game type game. It's like Mario Party but no fun. Like even worse than Mario Party 9 and 10. There's no board games on it. I think there's no mini games in it. I think I played like one board for a few minutes and I got bored and just stopped. I haven't played it since. But yeah, I like Rugrats, and this is just for the collection, to be honest. Like it's just nice to have these games in a collection, and it's just nice to have older games and that. So yeah, not much to really to say here. But now we have the many wrestling games on this console. People love the wrestling games on the N64. So we'll start with the only WCW game I have, WCW NWO Revenge. Again, I've not really played much of this one. I actually think I couldn't get this game working when I last tried it, so I might have to have a look at that soon. But yeah, like obviously the classic wrestling games and obviously the classic WCW characters. We've got this. We've got Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Raven, and Goldberg. the classic characters. Yeah, I think obviously it's got again, one thing I like about these games is it's nice to go back to see the old wrestling games and see what the rosters look like. But yeah, not really much to say about this one, just yeah, WCW. I'll do this one first. WF Attitude. I think this is the most recent game I bought. I've not really got much to say about it because I've only played it once. Although I think I can't save at the moment because I think I need a controller pack, but I don't really know what that is. So I think next time I go to the retro shop I'll have to ask him about it. Yeah, I don't like this one. I think the next two that I'm going to talk about are much better. So again, only get this if you like me and you need to get all the wrestling games. Yeah, that's all about that one. Again, I told you this was going to be short. I just don't really have a lot to say about these games. I think I'll move the camera again, sorry. So these are the last two, and these are the famous ones. We'll do them in order of release. WWF WrestleMania 2000. Yep, again, this is the classic AKI, I think their name were, Aki or whatever, the ones who were working on the AEW game. Yeah, again, really good. Again, I need to play more of these games, but I'll just move on to the last one because these two are pretty much the same, and also this one's quite interesting because this is actually the only box I have for an N64 game. It's the classic one, WWF No Mercy. Yeah. Rock, Triple H, Chris Jericho. Who would have thought Chris Jericho would still be wrestling today? Yeah, this is the one everyone likes. This is obviously WWF No Mercy. You can see the back of the box. It's nice to have one of these boxes. This is the only... I'm not picky about getting the boxes because I just feel like it's a lot more hassle, and a lot of the... As you see, I don't have any of the boxes for the other games, and I don't really feel like getting them, to be honest, because... Yeah, just yeah, because I don't have the boxes for anything else, so it'll be done. Here's the case. Yeah, obviously people love this game. I struggled to get into it. I feel like I do need to sit down and just get into it. Maybe when the AEW game comes out, because that's going to be similar to this one, I might enjoy it. But I'm just so used to the other games, the PS1 stuff, which will be the next video after this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm sorry this one was really short and not really a bit rambly, but like I said, I just didn't really have a lot to say about these games. I just wanted to sort of have this in the collection, in the series, because it's part of the collection. So hopefully the next video will be better and more in-depth, because I'll be talking about PS1 stuff, and that's going to have a lot of memories to talk about. So, bye everyone.